All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 198. It's approximately 10:14 p.m. right here on the East Coast in New Jersey. So today is Saturday, August 13th of 2022. So obviously, guys, it has been a while since one of these streams has happened, and I want to say that I do apologize. Again, a lot of stuff kind of
Says,
came up. Oh God, now my own stream is playing. Nice. It was on accident, but it has been a while. I want to apologize again. A lot of stuff just came up, and there was just a lot of things I had to take care of. But now we are finally able to do one of these live streams. It has been a while, so I want to say that welcome. I guess this is the 200th Q&A live stream because I just looked. That's how you know. So this is the 200th Q&A live stream. That's pretty unique. So obviously, a lot's coming up. Um, Obviously, the Monmouth Mall videos will conclude as of tomorrow, and I'm sorry, as of Monday. And then we have a couple of Secaucus Junction videos, and then it's going to go to Willowbrook, and then we're going to hit a couple of office buildings. I don't have any further mall trips planned for the time being. There's just no really crazy closings going on at the moment. So that is basically it in that scenario. But as for Sears, there's been a lot of news in the past couple of days. Obviously, the let's get to the meat and potatoes here. The auction is going to be going on at Hoffman Estates headquarters in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Basically, they'll be auctioning off any memorabilia and any profit that is made from that memorabilia will go to keeping the company afloat. It's really sad that they have to sell their memorabilia. Um, that that they do have to sell it, but the company is literally bleeding money. So I mean, if they want to sell something to someone who has had a huge following or they had a family, they're basically. I mean, the company at this point is unfortunately a joke, and I even think the employees know that it's always corporate that's making the decision. I mean, that's why I think they're downsizing the artifact collection and they're doing the whole auction thing there. And that's why I think too, not just that, but you also have SB360 coming in, liquidating the cafeteria that nobody even uses anymore. It's really sad of the state that Sears is in, and I just don't think the company is going to survive. I mean, this could very well be the last Christmas. I know I said that last year, but Sears is in a super, super dire state where I think what's going to ultimately happen is they're barely going to make it to Christmas, and I think after the holidays they're just going to that's going to be it. The company has no future whatsoever. Eddie Lampert destroyed the company, and now the company is literally basically desperate for any type of cash. And now that means selling the HQ, selling the fixtures inside the Transform Co cafeteria, and even now selling memorabilia. Um, it's just a shame it didn't have to be this way, but Eddie only cared about the real estate of the buildings, and he was his main goal ultimately was to just subdivide the buildings and destroy what once was an iconic company, unfortunately. But yes, they're going to have an auction, and so that's basically it on the Sears end. Monmouth Mall. I finally got to Monmouth Mall. It's a very interesting little mall. I've been wanting to go there for many, many, many years. I always passed it up on the Parkway. Another mall I do want to get to is Ocean County, but Ocean County Mall isn't as interesting as Monmouth is. Monmouth has a very interesting layout. It has like a split level, and then when you get near like the food court, there's this thing called the concourse level. It looked like that the concourse level was built in the 1990s to accommodate a level in particular because they built the. Hang on one second, guys. I do apologize about this. Yes, I have to use the bathroom, guys. I will be right back. Um, but I'm definitely going to answer everyone's questions. I just really have to use the bathroom. I do apologize. I'm so sorry. All right, my apologies, guys. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to walk out. But getting back to my little conversation on Monmouth Mall. So Monmouth Mall, it's a very interesting little structure where it almost has like a level where basically you have the split level section, you have the main section, and then right when you get past the food court, you have this thing called the concourse level. And the concourse level is basically a little tunnel that was built right under the Lowe's in the late 90s, connecting that portion of the mall to the mall entrance. It's a really weird, kind of like dingy little basement, but I think it was pretty cool to walk through. I at least needed to see it once. I mean, obviously, I know Freehold Raceway Mall is the better mall in Monmouth County. That's just a no brainer. But if, like interesting wise and architectural wise, I think Monmouth Mall really takes the cake. Um, but as for Monmouth Mall's future, it's not going to stay like that, unfortunately. The parking deck when I went was completely closed off, and they fenced it off completely. Even Boscov's closed off their entrance, which was smart. And the Lord and Taylor is no longer there, and the whatever the Crate and Barrel warehouse was is completely gone now. And yeah, that's basically it. But the Monmouth Mall was a cool experience. I'm glad I got to see it once. I've never stepped foot in the mall till this summer, so. But Freehold Raceway Mall is definitely the better mall. It's no doubt. But architectural wise and like mall feeling wise, I think Monmouth definitely takes the cake there. But I think back in the day, that was the premier mall in Monmouth County. But then, Seaview Square opened, and then Freehold Raceway opened in the 90s. So that kind of really took away the people going into the mall. They had a really old, what was it? A Hollister store. Like literally the Hollister store that I walked in there. I just wanted to walk through. It literally felt like the Hollister store that used to be at Westfield Garden State Plaza. Like that's a real gem. That whole mall has a lot of older stores, which is really nice. So. Hi, Alexander Lim. How are you? Hi, Life Game Show's official channel. How are you? Hi, Chris. Long time no see. I got my car insurance 2 days ago and drove by myself to work. Oh, that's great. I'm glad. I'm glad that you are able to do that. Hi, Brandon Smith. How are you? Yes, you can. You can do that on Google Earth. At Google Maps, you can view different street views from certain years. Hello there, Elevating Puerto Rico. Hi, Scott Shewitt. How are you? Hello, Alexander Lynn. How are you? So, but anyways, so yeah, my Monmouth Mall experience was pretty cool, and I also went to Roosevelt Field back in early June because Nordstrom is expected to modernize their things pretty soon. We just don't know when the day is going to be. I'd imagine it's going to be sometime after the holidays. I can't imagine they're going to do it now. Unless they're just waiting for parts at that point, but who knows? But they are definitely getting modded. I Hate Escalators. I Hate Escalators spoke to a tech, and the tech basically confirmed that they were getting modernized. So, hello, Jeremy's Retail Exploration. How are you? So, yeah, hey, Anthem 90, how are you? Hello, I Love Elevators. How are you? So yeah, no Long Island trips planned for the time being, unfortunately. I just don't have anything, nothing in the cards right now for that. No, and I guess I'm not surprised. Yeah. Well, there's not too many vacant 9-story buildings in New York City, and if they want to expand healthcare facilities, I guess I'm not surprised. It's a shame though because that was a really historical building, but Hudson's Bay and Latote ran Lord and Taylor ran into ground. It's crazy to think. I was actually reading into Lord and Taylor the other day. Could you imagine letting your whole executive team go in April of 2020? You got to remember this was 2 years ago, right as COVID was peaking. I mean, that's just egg on your face. I mean, you were so loyal to the brand, you were loyal to the customer base, and it's a shame. The leadership there really, really, really made a lot of Lord and Taylor customers sour grapes. And I think Lord and Taylor had potential, but the problem was not only was it too little too late, but the leadership just kept changing. The register, I mean, they made the whole register system look like a Marshall's. You don't do that to a Lord and Taylor. And not only that, the other thing I did not like was how Lord and Taylor started using the yellow and gray colors. That just doesn't mix. So it was a bunch of, people just running it right into the ground. I mean, these were people in Canada. They didn't care so much about Lord and Taylor. They cared more about Saks Fifth Avenue, and we knew that which department store brand they were favoritizing. No doubt it was Saks Fifth Avenue. But even Saks Fifth Avenue, they're running into the ground. And from what I'm hearing, Saks Fifth Avenue and American Dream is not doing the numbers that Hudson's Bay wants the nut wants to wants. Ugh, I can't even phrase it right now. Hudson's Bay Company is not impressed with the numbers that the Saks Fifth Avenue and American Dream is putting up. So at least that's some insights I've heard. And I'm hearing that they could potentially be going to Westfield Garden State Plaza inside the former Lorraine. I mean, let's look at some quality decisions here. Hackensack, listen, I get why they had to close Saks and Hackensack. That was a dump. I'm sorry to say, but that Saks Fifth Avenue was a fucking dump. That was a dump of a store. It needed to close years ago. It was a dump and it needed to go. I get it. But closing Short Hills for American Dream was probably the dumbest decision that Hudson's Bay Company made. Closing Hackensack is one thing for American Dream. I get that. Okay, it's a piece of junk store that was never really renovated since it opened in 1977. But when you close the mall at Short Hills in favor of American Dream, you must really not be thinking straight. I mean, Bloomingdale's has not closed there. Neiman Marcus hasn't closed. I mean, almost did because of the pandemic. But Nordstrom didn't even close there. I mean, Macy's knows that Short Hills is successful, and that's why they have the Bloomingdale's there, or that's why Bloomingdale's was there because it's an upscale mall. For Saks to literally leave Short Hills in favor of American Dream, I think was probably the dumbest decision they ever made, and I will keep saying that as long as as long as I'm still kicking. But anyways, but yeah, the NYU. But getting back to Scott's comment because I really got off I really got on a tangent and off topic. Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised. It's I guess that's what they want to do. Hi there, New Jersey corruption watch. How are you? I'm actually going to the Monmouth Mall tomorrow, and I'm going to film the closing Jcpenney there. Yeah, and there's a little section on the third floor too that's kind of interesting that I didn't take a look at, but yeah, Jcpenney is closing at Monmouth Mall. It's a very quiet closing. The company really hasn't said much about it. They started liquidation. It was, I believe, 4th of July weekend, and the store's closing in October. So liquidation, it's a very slow liquidation for sure, but they are starting to slash the prices a little bit more now on some of the fixtures as it is getting now much closer to October. So the store will be in business for the rest of the month of August, the rest of the month of September, and I would say probably by beginning mid or late October, the JCPenney there will be gone. They will take down the signs and anything that was there. So last Wednesday, I went to the Vooers Town Center Mall, the Deptford Mall, and Moorestown Mall in New Jersey. 3 malls that I have not yet been to, but they're all the way down in like Philadelphia, and it's quite a long ride. So, but anyways, let's see what other comments do we have here? Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend a weekday because if you go on a weekend, it can get very busy on a mall on a weekend. I think I went on a Tuesday, and the store is basically dead. The mall too was pretty dead too. I'm not gonna lie. For a weekday, the mall was pretty dead, but the JCPenney store was just. I mean, at least when I went, you got to remember this was like in the very first few weeks of their liquidation. It had already started. It was very depressing walking through. It was a very depressing store to walk through. And what was even more depressing when I walked through that JCPenney store was they said JCPenney shopping is back, but all of a sudden you have all those liquidation signs around. So, you know what? It is what it is, I guess. Well, I guess the Kushner Companies, which is owned by our good friend Mr. Jared Kushner, wanted to knock down the JCPenney store to put up apartments. Which at the same time, I guess it makes sense, and I guess the employees can shift over to the Freehold store, which I guess makes sense for staffing, I guess. But who knows? I'm sure some of them will take severance packages. It's an okay mall. It can get, listen, my American Dream recommendations, go on a weekday if you want to film the elevators. You go on a weekend, it's a mob, and it's very hard to film because you have people constantly riding it. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but American Dream, if you want to like go film, I would say do it on a weekday because weekends you will just get slammed with crowds. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. It depends on what you're looking for specifically. If you're looking for entertainment, like if you want to see a nice water park, a nice theme park, and you want to get eateries that are affordable, I'd say yes, I recommend American Dream. If you want to go to an upscale mall, then I don't recommend American Dream because there's really only one upscale part of the mall, and there's not even that many stores in that area of the mall. Personally, upscale wise, malls, I recommend the mall at Short Hills. It is the most upscale mall in the state. Hands down, it is the most upscale mall. There is no other mall like it in New Jersey. There's just no other mall like it. Yeah, I want to take the final ride on elevator number one, but both of them run exactly the same, so it's not really worth going to see it. But I did take a ride on elevator number two, the final ride. I think I did it back in late July, like the last week in July. I went. So, oh, you were in Wilmington, Delaware. Oh, okay, that's great. That's fun. That's okay. I understand. They're supposed to be demolishing it soon. Hi, TPR 17. How are you? Yeah, I know. Stream number 200. Can't believe it. Pretty crazy. No, but it sounds like a furniture liquidation. Yes, I remember you. You commented on my penny store, I believe. I'm not sure about that. Now, if you put a body cam, it still looks suspicious. I don't know because I would have to say Hamilton Mall. Brunswick, it's kind of hard to call that one off now because now they're putting in freaking Toys R Us stores. So, but I do have to say Brunswick Square. I'm not Brunswick Square. Hamilton Mall will definitely go, and I think Livingston are those two. I think are both in the chopping block. Long Island, if they're putting Toys R Us in Massapequa, I guess I could say that one's safe for now. But I would say probably the one out in the Hamptons is going to go. Unless, let me see. Typically, it says Macy's, Toys R Us. That typically is a good indicator of what Macy's stores are next to go. The one at the Chesterfield Mall is the next is one of the next ones to go, and that's only because they're doing one of those market by Macy's. So, oh wow, I didn't even know they bought the FAO Schwartz. Oh wow, and they're even putting one out in the Hamptons. That's crazy. Yeah, surprised Roosevelt Field's not getting one, which they really should. But the new ones in New Jersey make complete sense. Of course, they need to do Willowbrook, definitely Bridgewater, Westfield Garden State, and Cherry Hill. All very good malls in the state. They really should do West Farms for Connecticut. I don't know why they're not doing that one. Nope, just a couple of hometowns. Bridgewater Commons is an interesting mall. Unfortunately, the Lord and Taylor is not there anymore, and the Crate and Barrel unfortunately closed. But Bridgewater, yes, it's a pretty interesting little center. It's quite a trip. I ended up doing the train. It was like three different trains, and then it was like an Uber there and an Uber back. It's an interesting little mall. It's a three-level mall, but it's built on a hill where, yeah. So the first three levels enter into the Macy's store, and then the second two level or and Lord and Taylor store, but Lord and Taylor's gone. And then these level two and three enter into the Bloomingdale's, which used to be Stearns back in the day. Thank you, I appreciate it. I see. I mean, I went to Roosevelt Field and I didn't have any issues. I was back at Roosevelt Field. The only Simon Mall I've ever had an issue at was the Shops Riverside, and they have some of the worst security there. I've never had an issue at Roosevelt Field, never. And I've been to Roosevelt Field multiple times. I've been there at least 3 or 4 times. I've never had an issue at Roosevelt Field, only Riverside. And I've been to multiple Simon Malls. I didn't have an issue at Quaker Bridge. I didn't have an issue at Menlo Park. I didn't have an issue when okay, I guess Walt Whitman I got busted at Brooks Brothers, but aside from that, I've never had an issue. Even at the Westchester, I went back in early 2021. I didn't have an issue there, and I didn't have an issue at the shops at Nanuet. So I guess that makes sense. Oh, okay, good. That's great. Hi, oh, Brandon Miller, how are you, man? It's been a while. That I don't know. I think they're going to hang on by a thread, but we're definitely seeing a lot of hometown closings. Wow, 20 people on here. Wow, okay. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. Okay, that's great. Yes, there will be 10 Jcpenney locations left in New Jersey. Hi, Ultra Eric. How are you? Did you go to the mall at Short Hills? Oh, Port Authority sucks, especially the bus terminal. Place sucks. I've gone through Port Authority at least once or twice. It is not a pretty place to do it. That's why if I try to go to a mall, I make sure that it's a train. The bus is like the absolute last resort, and I only did that once. Never will. I do not plan on doing that again. The bus for me is like the absolute last resort. Most of the malls are very accessible via train, which is nice, which is very nice. Okay, I get it. I know it's you, Aaron, of course. But getting back to Sears and Kmart, they're going to hang on by a thread during the holidays. Maybe we could see some more closings. I don't know. It really just depends on what does happen. So, I mean, if you have a flight out there, but they're very generic at JFK Airport. It really depends too on what terminal you're flying out of. Because remember, there's several terminals. There's Terminal One, Terminal Two. There is Terminal Five, and then Terminal 7 and 8. Terminal 1 is the international terminal. Terminal 2 is the smaller Delta hub. And then Terminal 3 they knocked down. And Terminal 4 is the big Delta hub, which is like the Delta hub for any flight that's basically west of Denver and other flights too that LaGuardia also serves. Terminal 5 is the JetBlue hub. Terminal 7 and 8 is for American Airlines. And I think British Airways has somewhat of a big operation at Terminal 7 and 8 because of the One World Alliance, whatever partnership. SkyTeam, I think, also has a lot of flights out of like Terminals 1 and Terminals 4 because of their whole thing with Delta. And some Star Alliance carriers also have flights out of Terminal 1 and like Terminal 7 and 8, but most Star Alliance carriers try to fly into Newark because that's where United has their hub at Terminal C at Newark. That's United's hub. American and Delta have hubs both at JFK and New York LaGuardia. But north of that, Delta has a hub in Boston, while American Airlines has hubs in the both New York airports plus Philadelphia, Ronald Reagan National Airport, Charlotte, Miami, to name a few. Delta has Atlanta, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Detroit, Salt Lake City, Seattle, Washington, and LAX. And then American has also has Miami, Los Angeles, and then they have a couple of code share, whatever. I'm getting into the airline hubs now. Yeah, well, if they hang out by the food court, they're not going to go after someone that has this. Riverside, it's a much different story. Riverside doesn't have a food court, so you're more likely to get caught at Riverside than you are to get caught at Roosevelt Field. And Roosevelt Field has been in the news multiple times about food court fights, so I'm not surprised they have a much larger security presence there. Yeah, the Shops Riverside is terrible. I try to avoid that mall at all costs. Even if I only go there if it's absolutely necessary. I don't because of how badly I got treated by mall security. I actually don't go out of my way for that mall anymore. But I've been to every other mall in the area, and that is the one mall that I just had a really awful experience. Depends. I don't know. The most vulnerable pennies, that's a tough one. Because it's not like they're vulnerable, but I don't think JCPenney's going to be closing. Um, so round one, we actually lost our first round at American Dream, believe it or not. Just wasn't doing the numbers, I guess. They were out by the end of July. So unfortunate, very unfortunate. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think that that path not allowing filming has a lot to do with 9/11, unfortunately. Hmm, that's good. Hey, Joe, how are you? Oh, you filmed an abandoned Sears. I don't know about Monmouth Mall Sears. At this rate, how many more years do you expect Sears and Kmart to be around? Less than 5. Less than 5. There's only 16 Sears full-line stores and 3 mainland Kmart stores, with most of the other ones being offline. The company has no future whatsoever. Oh, and if I'm getting to everyone's comments about 4 minutes late, I do apologize. The whole thing is, the whole thing isn't exactly, well, it's not that the comments aren't consistent, but it takes a while for the for me to read the comments, and obviously I want to answer everyone's question too. So no, Monmouth Mall is not going to get demolished. Um, yeah, although okay, retail exploration with Danny. It's pretty cool that you get to look at their suits. Hi Joe, how are you? Thank you. Happy 200 and oh, that's right. I read something about that today. Happy International Left-Handers Day. Sadly, I don't write with my left hand. If I'm writing anything down, I typically write it with my right hand. But yes, I did see something about that. I think I saw it on Facebook somewhere. I'm not too sure, but I think I believe I saw it on Facebook. If yeah. So yeah, Freehold Raceway Mall is a nice mall. Oh, I like JetBlue. I think JetBlue's cabins are so nice. I'm hoping that United will soon do those backseat TVs, but man, yeah, JetBlue is a very nice, especially if you can fly like mint class, like across country. I think it's one of the best first class ones out there. It beats Alaska, it beats American, it beats Delta, and I think it even beats United. But JetBlue was a really nice airline, very nice airline, and their cabs are so sleek and modern. They are probably just as good as the cabs on Delta. So, I mean, you could have also filmed A and B. Yeah. That Kone at Saks Fifth Avenue runs like crap, and so did the Kone in the Parks Court. That's all thanks to 555. Um, but Freehold Raceway Mall is an interesting little mall down there too. Yeah, the Shops Riverside is basically just the mall with a Bloomingdale's department store. That's basically it. It used to have a Saks, but you know that was a Saks dump and it needed to go. But yeah, the Shops Riverside is an interesting mall. It's, I mean, I have no doubt. Listen, the architecture is very nice. The way that they redid the mall is very nice. The security there just sucks. That's a lot. That's my opinion on him. But I'm not saying the mall's bad. I think Simon did a phenomenal job on the mall. I think Simon really positioned it as a pretty premier luxury mall to compete with American Dreams Avenue, to compete with the mall. What's the hell is the name of that? Westfield Garden State Plaza, Ticey's Corner, and Short Hills to some extent. But yeah, LaGuardia is almost done with their renovations. Yeah, Jcpenney will be demolished. They're putting apartments there. Hello, Cool Cat Productions. How are you? Target is planning to have 3 stores in Jersey City. Jersey City, I think, is big enough where I guess they could handle it. I wonder if Target's going to go to Newport Center and maybe go in the former Sears. That could be interesting if they pull that. What you mean? You mean okay? So their leases got terminated and they're rebuilding a Five Below, or no? No, that's not right. So they're redoing it and putting in a Five Below. I guess that makes sense. Yes, Path. I know Path has a history of having issues with people with filming. I have not been to Westfield Wheaton, but I know where it is. It's in Maryland. It's actually right around Westfield Montgomery. What do you think of Olympia Sports? Um, closing the rest of their stores. I guess I'm not surprised. I guess they got absolutely hammered by the pandemic. So, how do you think JCPenney decides to close the location? Well, I think there's a couple of factors that go behind it. It depends on what the lease is remaining in the building, how much money they can get for the building, and if they need money to keep their company afloat. I think in the case of Monmouth Mall, I think it was both the owner and JCPenney said agreed to part ways. And I think it benefits the employees too, is because the employees, they'll transfer over to Freehold or Ocean County Mall, and they'll work until they retire. But I think the ultimate it's a lot of key factors. If the money is right and JCPenney needs money because JCPenney really does need money to keep the company afloat. They got crushed by the pandemic. So for JCPenney to go the extra mile to Kushner companies and say, listen, we want to build apartments here. How much money can we give you for the space? And I think both sides reached an agreement to say, listen, we have no problem leaving and we'll transfer our employees over. Same case goes for the JCPenney at Westfield Garden State Plaza. Both Westfield, when the new Unibail-Rodamco management came in like late 2017, early 2018, they also sat down with the people at JCPenney and they said, listen, we don't think we're going to, we're not, we really want to redevelop the spot. We understand that you guys had a 60-year run here. So they both, again, I think it's really just both sides agreeing to part ways, and that seems to be the case at Monmouth Mall, just as it was the case at Westfield Garden State Plaza. So security, that's interesting. Yeah, the security there does not care. The security there is very laid back. I mean, obviously, yeah, they're not going to care. They're not like Riverside. Yeah, security at American Dream, they're very laid back there, and I know that because I have a friend that works there, and he says they're very laid back. So I'm not surprised. So yes, I know the Shoppers Find is closing there. I did a final ride and I uploaded it a couple weeks ago, I think. Have you been to Bloomingdale, New Jersey? No, I have not. Yes, I know. You told me. Most likely. I know you told me, Nick. Good luck with that. Oh, you're left-handed. That's great. Have you been to Bloomingdale's? Yes, I know. They put a Schindler Mad BS elevator in there. Same thing what they did with White Plains. I don't plan on necessarily racing back there for a Schindler unless something big is closing there or I'm out there for some odd reason. But no, I don't have any plans to go back to Short Hills. Bob's is permanently yes, I know. Bob's closed in Freehold. Yeah, Bob's is permanently closed.
School is back, and the savings are too. Stock up and save.
Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Hang on, guys. I gotta go into the stream because I have someone that's telling me something. So I want to make sure we can clean this up. Whoever's trying to do something. Okay, so getting back to everyone's comments. Okay, my apologies. So yes, Bob's store's closed. Hollister and Abercrombie. Yes, I'm not surprised that they're returning. I was afraid that they were going to stop me from filming, which No, Zara's not. That Zara's not snobby. Hermes, yeah, that's a snobby store. Very snobby. I went in there actually. I uploaded the video not too long ago. They're very I had to basically I don't know how to put this. I basically had to pretend that I was interested in the merchandise in the store. But yeah, I had to keep asking like questions and stuff, and I just told them good luck. So, but yeah, it was a pretty hard process to get in there for sure. Um, I know that time flies. Listen, time absolutely flies. You eat with your left hand. That's nice. I think I eat with both hands, honestly. Although I can't say that much. Metro North Railroad. Okay, that's all right. Not a problem. Hi, Fox Text 6. He hated United. Yeah, United's kind of eh. I know Saks and Shortals was such a nice store. Yeah, well, once you get like out into the country, there's definitely more one floor Macy's stores. Yes, I know. Brownstone Pancake Factory is going there, so they changed hands. This I need to remove. Good. Oh, you're in Bethesda, Maryland right now? Oh, okay. Primark, yes, I saw the floor plan for the Mills of Jersey Gardens. So yeah, you are right about that. I was at Westfield Montgomery Mall yesterday. I filmed the Sears there. Yeah, it's not there anymore. Triple Five is more of an entertainment group, but I think they're really putting up tough competition, and I think it's affecting like Palisade Center to some extent. So no, they're not closing yet. They're still open. They haven't announced yet that that store's closing. Um, yeah, they're not closing yet at Newport Center. Yeah, well, no one's bought the building yet. Yeah, I'm surprised Office Depot and Office Max have not merged with Staples. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with that. There's been a lot of back and forth with that. It's on my bucket list too, but I'm not going until Sears makes an announcement. I think they're lying. I think it's just we're gonna just close all. There's no future at Sears and Kmart. They're saying a full line department stores that they're all going to close. Think about it. We had Sears Willow Grove that closed earlier this year, Kmart in Key West that closed this year, and Kmart in Hamilton, Montana. In addition to that, Kmart in uh, Avenel closed, and then Sears in Fort Lauderdale closed earlier this year. So no, there's that's a bunch of garbage. Even the Sears hometown stores are closing. Hopefully, some stores will replace former Lord and Taylor, Jcpenney, former Sears, Jcpenney, Lord and Taylor. Most of those stores are going to be subdivided. That's the fate of those stores, unfortunately. They're extending it to weekdays from Port Authority. I don't know the number of the gate, but I'd have to look up the bus route. I don't have that off the top of my head, unfortunately. Well, once they get the right tenant for Newport Center, like a Primark or a Target, then they're probably going to close it. Macy's might, but they just put a new Toys R Us in there, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. Yes, I heard about the Cracker Barrel vegan breakfast. I don't know. When I went to the mall last Saturday, it was pretty. I mean, there was definitely some crowds, but I think the mall still has a lot of work to do with the mall. So yeah, oh, Hollister definitely will, especially when I was walking through it. I think they're going to close that one down, no doubt about that. Okay, thanks for letting me know. You have no prime time? What? I don't know what prime time is. So, I still open. I will definitely give it a read at some point. Oh, okay. Have fun. It's really not worth it to do Hermes. They're very strict. Yes, they have elevators, but they run like garbage. Interesting. I don't care too much for Target, but interesting. I don't know what they're doing with Lord and Taylor. It's vacant for now. So I think the whole company is going to collapse by then. But again, that's just my opinion. It's crazy how here in coastal Mississippi, at 50 degrees, it feels cooler in Denver degrees because the humidity. The humidity down here is that bad. I can't wait for another cold winter. Well, you're off the Gulf Coast, so I guess that makes sense. Yep, it was 3 floors, and Hudson's Bay had to close because of American Dream. Very dumb. Do you think JCPenney has any kind of future as opposed to Sears and Kmart? I don't know what the future is going to hold for JCPenney. We'll see. I mean, JCPenney may have another 10 years, and don't take that for granted. It could have 5, but we don't know. JCPenney was almost going to go under because of the pandemic. They barely made it out. Yes, Primark is definitely on a really rapid expansion, but I guess they had to wait until after the pandemic to do it, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, Bridgewater is still a very decent mall. Apple just put a really nice store in that mall, so I hope they can attract some new tenants. Do you watch Blue's Clues? No, unfortunately not. I watched the first version of it. I don't like the second version is okay, but I'm not a Blue's Clues fanatic as I was maybe 20 years ago, or I don't know. I don't know. It's been a long time for sure. Yeah, monopolistic. I learned about that in what was that class I took in the spring? Microeconomics. So yeah, I get it. I get it. But they really should. I mean, Office Depot and Office Max have a joke of a store fleet. Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense for them to stay afloat. I've heard about crumble cookies. Thank you. I'm just trying to read through everyone's comment. Yeah, Eddie's an idiot for trying to do that. We all know it's all about the real estate. I mean, there's no hiding behind a wall, unfortunately. Livingston Mall's getting knocked down soon. I'm not surprised. I'm sure H&M's going to pull out of there too. No, they won't locate their operations to there. I think they're still going to be in Illinois. It's just in a very smaller footprint. There is obstacles, but those obstacles will eventually close. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yes, I know about that. I know. And I think if Macy's were to ever close a bunch of Bloomingdale stores, I think the first one to go, if they decided to pick one in Jersey, would be Bridgewater. Obviously not the Shops Riverside. They just did a whole renovation to that one. Willowbrook got a renovation, and Short Hills they did a whole renovation there too. So I think if Bloomingdale's decided to pull the plug on any of them in Jersey, it would be Bridgewater. No doubt about that. Not anymore. I used to. It was a fun job for about 5 months. I think eventually, but Macy's is still kicking for now. Do you prefer Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Streaming, or Apple TV Plus the most? It depends on what show I'm looking for. I don't have a really good one. Cotton On is another retailer going through rapid inspection. They'll open in Paramus Park soon, which is interesting. I'm in a university now, but thanks. Oh, okay, that's good. Maybe, who knows? I don't know about Macy's closing that store, so what if I gave you an Oreo? Everyone is so funny. It's so funny. There's a lot of people on here considering and this is a Saturday night. I mean, that's That's a pretty big deal. I'm not sure, but so probably gonna go for another 15 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna get off for the night. I know. I don't want to either, but I'm getting a little tired, and I got a lot of stuff I have to do in the morning, unfortunately. So, okay, some people are leaving for the night, so we might actually we'll go for another 10 minutes, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. So, but same university but different campus location. There is. You just have to check the different routes. Ugh, I am so tired. You guys have no idea. I'm so freaking tired. But it's good to be on with you guys, and I know it's been way too long. I know. I've had them. I actually had it when I was going out to Hershey Park about a month ago. They were not too bad. They were okay. I mean, they were the strawberry, so it was like strawberry cheesecake. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all. So, would you ever consider rushing a fraternity? Absolutely not. I think fraternities are a huge waste of time. I think fraternities, and you can see how tired I am too. But getting to fraternities, I think fraternities are a huge waste of time. They say, yeah, it's a great way to make friends and this and that, but then you go to these concerts and parties, and all of a sudden, first of all, the thing with rushing of fraternities is you're paying money. You have to pay money out of pocket. So yeah, I heard about Suncoast closing there. Um, I just, I don't know. I generally don't know. Wow, Uniqlo is expanding in Seattle and Fairfax, Virginia. That's surprising. Valley, Valley at Riverside. I don't know. I don't know what that means. So yeah, well, because they joined those stupid fraternities. That's why. And the thing is, look, I'm not saying they're all bad. I never said that. I would never say, oh, I don't think you should recommend. I don't recommend joining a fraternity. You just have to know what you're getting yourself into. And with me, with a fraternity, first of all, you have to make a payment up front, number one. And then, you got to commit yourself to these meetings and raising money. I mean, look, I think it's a great thing for someone who, likes the school so much, they want to be part of a family. But the real problem with a fraternity these days is all the nonsensical challenges they do, like you know, the getting wasted challenge. I mean, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. It's just not my cup of tea, and that's basically it about that. Yep, that's right. Only two: Bridgehampton and Miami. Westwood is closed tomorrow. So nope. Sears Mexico is under that. So opening mushrooms later. They were a rival to Tesla, but no one will do Tesla. Yeah, and memorizing the Greek alphabet is just small potatoes. It's all the other nonsensical stuff that you have to do. You got to dress up. You got to, the alpha, delta, whatever. Like there's so much you can do, and the problem is like you're going out every night, and then all of a sudden you're spending money. You're spending money on all this stupid nonsense, and you're getting wasted. Honestly, to me, it's a waste of time. Life is too short. Should you have fun? Of course, but with moderation. You should have fun, but you also should be very successful in life. And fraternities, they're great, but if you're looking to be successful and, progress, fraternity is not exactly the best thing. Now, look, I'm not saying you should not join one. If you want to join one and that's what you feel like you should do, by all means go for it. But it's just, again, it's not my cup of tea personally. Yeah, I love Cheesecake Factory. It's they have some good flavors for sure. Bally is a luxury brand. Huh, which is interesting. They're going to go on Riverside. I guess that adds on to Simon's exclusive lineup at Riverside. So yes, they're gonna have an elevator in there. It's probably gonna be a Schindler, most likely. Yeah, which is interesting. Yep, I know it's going in the Lord and Taylor. Yeah. So yeah, I think I tried the Beyond. I either tried the Beyond Burger there, or the Impossible, but yeah. So we're gonna probably go for another. I'm probably gonna go for another 8 minutes, and I think we're gonna wrap it up for the night because, like I said, I'm pretty tired myself. Um, but is the what brand of elevator is route? I believe ThyssenKrupp. ThyssenKrupp did the whole like One World Trade Center, at least from what I've heard. Oh boy. Ugh. So yeah, I'm not surprised. They probably sold it off because they any money they can get for Kmart. So that's a tough one. Probably Neiman Marcus has the edge, but slightly. Neiman is probably like the top brand. Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's are right underneath the two, and then you have Macy's and Jcpenney and Lord and Taylor. I'm still waiting for the McPlant at McDonald's. I'm looking forward to that day. But anyways, yeah, I'm so tired. I don't think so. Or at least, well, XL did Neiman at the Mall at Short Hills. They did Neiman at Westfield Garden State Plaza, and they did. Oh gosh, what was the other one that they did? Oh, the Westchester. Yes, there's about three Kohl's near me. There's one in Clifton. It's a very tiny one. Sea Caucus, and there's a one in Paramus that's getting relocated to Bergen Town Center. In addition to that, I also there's Kohl's Jersey City. That's a 2-level one, and there's also Kohl's in Linden, which is another 2-level one. I don't know. We will just have to wait and see. Oh, 2015. That seems so long ago. That seems so long ago. Yes, all those are very low end. Hi, Butter Boy. How are you? All right, it seems to be that people are getting off for the evening. I'm probably gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Probably go for another 4 minutes here and call it a night because I'm really tired and I unfortunately have stuff to do tomorrow. But so we'll go. We're gonna go for another 4 minutes and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, ugh. I wish I had the energy for it too. Bed Bath and Beyond is confirmed to begin closing sales at the fashion center during the end of this year. I guess I'm not surprised. I mean, I think they should have closed the one near Westfield Garden State Plaza, but I don't know why. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that was so long ago. And now that's going to be an Amazon Fresh. So, but I'm not surprised that they're closing Bed Bath and Beyond at Fashion Center. I'm not surprised at all. Is it even saying they're closing? Yeah, I must be really tired if I can't even like think. No, we don't really have fast food restaurants on campus. Most of the food's like off campus, and the food it's really subpar. It's not good. It's not good at all. Burger King's Impossible Whopper was really good. I have it a few times. It's a good burger. Doesn't say yet on when this store is going to be closing, but I'm sure they're going to be doing it before the end of the year. So we'll see what happens with that. I guess. No, does not. So, but anyways, lucky you. I wish I had that luxury, but it's all right. I guess it works. It is what it is. So, yeah. Who knows? I wish I had the answer to that question. I really wish I did, but I don't, unfortunately. So, all right. So, if we don't have any further questions this evening, oh, so yeah, I think it'll be around for the next year or two, but we'll see. But, anyways, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here in just about 30 seconds. I want to thank you guys for watching. That's interesting. Well, I don't know when the next stream is going to be. I know summer is coming to an end, unfortunately. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching this live stream. Hopefully, we could do a live stream during the week, but we'll see. I got to see how I am. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and that's it, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful night.